Just a little review. Remember, understanding personal finance helps you make informed financial decisions. Every purchase you make incurs an opportunity cost. And the opportunity cost is the cost of pursuing one option instead of another. It's expressed as the value of the activity you gave up. An opportunity cost may be monetary. For example, if you go to a basketball game instead of working, you lose the cost of the basketball game, what it costs you to get in, plus you lose all the income you would make if you would work. Some other things, if you go to the basketball game, actually instead of staying home and studying for the test, you might do poorly on the test. But remember, that is what you have to decide to do. Viewing purchases in terms of their opportunity costs might help you change your spending habits. Consider the difference between needs and wants. Okay, when you look at your sheet, you will see a table that has 4 items and columns of needs and wants. And you have to determine whether those items are needs and wants. Okay, if you look at the first one, it's the latest iPhone. If you already have a telephone, you probably would say the latest iPhone would be a want. You could get away with a less expensive phone, so the latest iPhone would be a want. Socks. If you have a whole drawer full of socks at home, the socks in this situation would be a want. Maybe you just want a different color, a different style, whatever, but you already have enough of them. If you have absolutely no socks and you need to keep your feet warm in the winter, then it would absolutely be a need. Groceries. Groceries could be either one. Most likely when we go to the grocery stores because we need some food to sustain life. But a lot of times we'll go to the grocery store because maybe we want a snack, maybe we need some chips or buy something to drink or whatever, and that would be a want. We have enough food at home, but we may want some other stuff. So groceries could be both a need and a want. Depends upon the situation. Video games, a lot of you may think that this is a need, but it is a want. We could live without video games. What do you stand to gain from your knowledge of personal finance? Something you could gain. It helps you to avoid common financial pitfalls, and it'll help you accomplish your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? Every person is different and has their own personal goals. These can range from starting a business to taking a dream vacation. The possibilities are endless. What personal goals do you have that require you to save some money? Remember Lindsay, the example we started with at the beginning of the book or at the beginning of this chapter? She wants a new phone. What do you want? You will see that some of your goals are short-term and others may require years to accomplish. A phone should be a short-term goal. Saving enough money to buy a house is a long-term goal. With good planning, you can identify and begin working towards short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals. So just to review that, short-term goals are like, for example, buying a car, buying a phone, and so forth. It might be within 1 year, where intermediate term goals take several years. It might be a goal of education. You might want to get $5,000 in your savings account for emergencies. You might want to buy a home. This may take anywhere from 3 to 10 years to do, a little bit longer. And then you have long-term goals, such, for example, as having a family or retirement. Next, we're going to look at some of our goals that we would have, and we're going to take a look at some of those. The first one is education. One of the major decisions you'll be required to make very soon is whether to pursue a college degree or some other type of post-secondary education. At this point in your life, you should begin to explore various career options and determine the education required to pursue each one of them. While you should always focus on a career that holds your interest, it's also more important to investigate expected payoffs. Education is costly both in time and money, and you should spend some time planning your career choice and then engaging in financial planning to determine how you are going to pay for that education. Remember the table from before. Remember there is a relationship between education and annual salary. The more education you have, the more chance that you will be employed and make a higher income. Emergencies and rainy day fund. Most people will need emergency funds at some time in their lives. Unexpected events such as car breakdowns, changes in jobs, medical emergencies occur. Financial planning will help you establish an emergency fund that will help you weather any financial crisis. Financial planning, it forces you to think about planning for those unexpected expenses or the possibility of interruption of wages as a result of illness or job loss. If you begin to plan for unexpected events now, you can be sure that you'll have enough money set aside to cover those expenses. So if your car breaks down, you can pay for it without having to take out a loan. We're going to take a look at your math problem number 6. Jacob makes $8 an hour at the pizza place and he's scheduled to work 4 hours this afternoon. However, Tara called and wanted to know if he could go to the movies. Assuming the movies will cost Jacob $10, what is his opportunity cost to go to the movies? Okay, I'm just going to flip to the worksheet. And you should be on math problem number 6. Okay, so when you look at this problem, what you have to do is figure out what his opportunity cost is. What is he giving up? He's giving up his wages. His wages would be $8 per hour. Okay. And he could work 4 hours. And that should equal $32 in wages. He also is paying $10 to go to the movie. So 32 plus 10 equals $42. There could be some other opportunity expenses or costs also. Chances are he's going to buy popcorn, maybe a soda, and so forth. So it could go up in monetary value. So it's $42 plus whatever. Non-monetary could be, an example would be, you might lose some of your employer's trust. You got a job, you said you were going to go to it, and all of a sudden you're backing out. You might be inconveniencing somebody else because they have to come in and work for you. Buying a car. Do you want to own a car someday? Will your parents pay for it? Or will you have to pay for it with your own money? When do you want to buy it? At age 16? 18? If you set specific goals, good financing plan can help you determine whether you can actually afford the car. It can also help you identify the steps you need to take to achieve these ownership. Keep in mind, other type of car expenses. You also have to pay, along with your car, you have to pay for gas, car maintenance, and insurance are some examples. Next, we're going to flip to math problem number 7. So find that on your sheet right there. It says Michael is comparing the two vehicles. One gets 14 miles to the gallon and the other 28 miles to the gallon. Assuming he drives 4,000 miles a year, how much money would he save by buying the more fuel-efficient car if gas is $3 a gallon? If you look at a couple of things on this one, which makes it a little bit easier, you will notice that one car gets 28 miles to the gallon and one is 14. Okay, so it's going to cost you twice as much to drive this car than this car. So we'll figure out how much they're going to pay. Okay, they're going to drive around 4,000 miles a year. And the car gets 14 miles, we'll just go with this one, 14 miles per gallon. So if we take 4,000 divided by 14, we will come up with 286 gallons of gas. So they figure within a year, they're going to use 286 gallons of gas. If you take 286 gallons times $3 per gallon, you will come up with $858 that they will spend per year on fuel. Okay, so that is what this car will get. Okay, if you buy a car that does twice the all you would have to do is take $858 divided by 2, because it's half, and you will come up with $429. Okay, the difference there is $429. So therefore, if you answer the question, how much money would he save by buying the more fuel-efficient car? He would save $429 because it would cost half of that. Buying a home is going to be another goal. You might already be thinking about your dream home. You may want to travel the world and just rent a place for a time and live in an exotic location. Regardless of your desires, you can begin planning financially to achieve your goals. You can begin saving now for the down payment of your first home. The best time to start accumulating wealth is when you are young. So again, you answer your questions. What kind of house do you want? Where do you want to live? What type of neighborhood do you want to live in? All of these will determine how much you're going to pay for your house. And again, so you're asking your question, why worry about something today that might be years down the road? The earlier you begin saving, the less money you'll have to set aside on a regular basis. If you plan carefully, you can set aside money for long-term goals while still having money left over for short-term desires. The key is planning. So these are the questions to ask yourself while thinking of owning a home. Start saving now, and you could have a down payment ready for your first home. And that's going to be years off. Having a family. Families are expensive. To have a child and put that child through college is estimated to cost more than $250,000 over the child's life from birth to age 22. That's quite a bit of money. Should you begin planning for some of those expenses now? What about a car at age 16 for a child? Will your children attend public school or private school? A good financial plan can allow financial flexibility of making these choices instead of having them made for you. Retirement. What age would you like to retire? At this stage of your life, it's difficult to think about retirement. However, do you know somebody who is retired at 40 or 45 and now does exactly what he or she wants to do? Also, you might know somebody who hates his job and is still working at it at age 70. While many people may choose to work well into their 60s and 70s because they enjoy working, many people do it because they have no other options. Financial planning can give you options. You can begin building your wealth at an early age. This may allow you to retire at an age of 40 or 45. While you may still decide to continue working, it's nice to have the option of retirement. Charitable giving. Many people have a strong desire to donate some of their money to worthy causes and charities, given an important component of many financial plans. Some people may prefer to accumulate wealth and provide a large sum to a specific charity. Others may give smaller amounts on a regular basis. Knowledge of financial planning can help you achieve whatever goals you may have in this area. Charitable giving provides you with a sense of satisfaction, knowing that you're helping others who are less fortunate. Giving can involve money and/or time. In addition to the psychological benefits of charitable giving, there's also tax benefits. So just as a little checkpoint, what are 3 categories of goals you should plan for? Short-term goals, usually within 1 year. Intermediate goals can be like 3 to 10 years long. And long-term goals. Now let's flip to your notes pages. And I'd like you to go through and complete the math problems 8 through 12. Make sure you show your work. When you are done, please submit it in today's assignment.